So I want to tell that, why we are doing this. The purpose of this is that being an agile coach, be observer to what we are doing and see that where is the nuance of professional coaching comes into. Yeah. And this is a live session. That means we both have not discussed what issues I'm going to bring it to the table. And the other, what we will do is after 18 to 20 minutes of our conversation, we will allow everyone to come in and provide their observability. So what has happened in this 18 to 20 minutes, what you see as a coach Suhas doing with me. And then we'll also provide you the decoding format that what was happening and how that is possible or not possible to do it as a professional coach. Yeah.
Good to start. It's 8:05. I think 5 minutes. People have been on time. Yeah. So all phones mute. Yeah. So, Akhil, how has been the day for you? Was it a busy day yet again?
Oh, yes. Yeah, from the last 2 months was, it's going on. Last year, November sometime, one of the Asia's largest bank reached out to me and they said, can you help us define our next gen enterprise architecture for the bank? And I said, sure, I will help you with. And it was a happy moment that, I'm getting back into what I was doing some 8-10 years back.
Yeah.
But I did not do a real good inquiry about that, where exactly this bank is and what they're doing and why are they looking for me, right? Or what has made them to look at. When I got into, I found that there's a big trouble going on and I have selected this work to do. And now, Suhas, what's happening with me is in 2 months, December and January, and I'm in the February, I'm finding difficult to deliver what I have promised in the beginning. It's very challenging. And 3 things are happening with me. A, I'm avoiding meeting the stakeholders.
Okay.
It's very challenging for me. I'm just trying to ignore their meetings and I'm avoiding meeting them. And that's not me. That I've not been doing this. And I don't know. This is absolutely very difficult for me to accept that I'm doing this. Second is I'm super scared of my ability to deliver it. That I don't know whether I'll be able to deliver. They have some different expectations and I'm expecting something different and whatnot. And there is a guy with whom I'm working. I started questioning his capabilities. He had been in this industry for 37 years actually, and had dusted vice president, big guy. He understands the banking and all of that. And I created a model and he did something and the client gave some other feedback and I started having a very different kind of discussions with him, right? And so generally I don't do that. And I want to talk to you about what's happening here with me. Why am I doing this all? Yeah, so I wanted to discuss I just wanted to put together these 3 things.
So avoiding the stakeholder, questioning the capability of your contact person there, who is a very senior executive, and also the whole overall experience that you're going through there, right?
Yes, and questioning myself.
You're questioning yourself, yes.
My goodness, I have been doing this, and whether I'm not going to produce these results or what, right? So sleepless nights and I don't know. I think I shared with you that
Yes.
I had a blood pressure which went on
Yes.
to 185 and it became 200.
Mm.
Sleepless nights I'm having at the moment.
So, Akhil, I know you shared in our earlier conversations how you are doing a four people's work into one, and how it was affecting your health, sleepless nights, and all those these three things that you brought up today. So, if you want to walk away with something as an outcome for this session, what would that be?
Um, I think for me, the top notch comes the avoiding the stakeholders,
Hmm.
right? And that's I wanted to work on, because if that is solved, then other things will, I think it will work out by itself,
Hmm.
right? But yeah, if there is a time permit, some time later, we can work on to these two other things as well.
Hmm. So, the way these projects work, from what you've shared in the past, stakeholder becomes very critical, right?
Yeah.
Apart from the people with whom you actually work with as an agile coach. So, avoiding stakeholder meetings, right? Is there something below that you have not shared so far?
Hmm.
One level deeper.
Hmm. Yeah. Then when you ask me this question, it's hmm, yeah. Something happening with me at the moment. Let me just. I feel that my stake is very high in this,
Hmm.
right? So I don't want to face them until I have done some concrete which meets their expectations,
Hmm.
right? And there is something else is also going into my head as you ask me this question. Um, you know what? It's also tells me that this is a this is the outside India client, right? And
Hmm.
there are two other things that is coming into my way. That how are they going to look at the enterprise architects community in this country?
Hmm.
He said, man, this guy said that he has a 25 years experience, worked with this company, that company, this, all of that stuff, and there's not developing. What will happen to my community? The professional IT community which we have. And the second, I have been working and that they said that boss Indians are very good in coding and it's a low level of work whatever we are doing, but that the high level of thinking is still not cup of tea, right? But that's, and then I feel that there is some kind of a stake beyond me
Hmm.
to the community as well as the India as a large from the IT contribution to the world as such, right? Because this is a very critical organization.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and the guy who selected me this, I have worked with him some 17, 18 years back um, in one of the large transformation program in UK, one of the UK's bank. And he
Hmm.
knew what we did and how exactly that transformed into a real good work for the bank. And that was the trust, right? So I'm also avoiding that. I don't want to breach his trust, that if he'll say, man, Akhil, what happened to you? I trusted you and I'm not able to deliver. What's going on, right? And that's the underline that I'm avoiding it.
Hmm.
Mm.
So, Akhil, I think your WhatsApp or some notification is on, no? If you want to close it on your system.
Yeah, I will.
Something, yeah,
Yeah, I will just give me a second.
sure.
I will quit. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, Akhil, I want to acknowledge, knowing you fully well, about how much you take responsibility for representing enterprise architects from India. Not just do coding, but we also can do more, the higher level of stuff that you mentioned. I want to acknowledge you for that. And also, but at the same time, you started off about the failure not being an option to You don't want to disappoint an old friend or somebody from the industry. So if you have to still walk away with a measure of success for this session, where you can actually stop avoiding stakeholder meeting, what would that be?
As you speak, something is deepening within me that when we're working in the waterfall methods stuff sometime back, we used to avoid the stakeholders and do not meet them at all, and finally we'll meet and say, hey, here is your software deployed, right? And then they will say about what the shit it is, or it may not be meeting their expectations, right?
Correct.
And I think I'm doing that only at the moment.
Okay.
So though I, in this particular program, when I came as a coach, and then I became the enterprise architect and whatnot, right? And then and I said, yes, I have been doing this and I will do it and whatnot, right? And what I wanted to do is that there is a tendency to not face them. That's not the option.
Correct.
I have to go and face them and get the feedback and see what's happening. And there is a time still left. I can do something, right? So if I get to a place, that, man, I can face them and there is no problem at all, right? So that just get to a place, the feeling of experiencing that, yes, I can meet this as stakeholder. He is a good friend. I have worked with him for 7 years when I was working in UK. That's enough for me. So I wanted to go with that experience feeling that, yes, I can meet him on a regular basis, 3 to 4 times, whatever the time left.
So you want to walk away with something that will help you to face them, right? Freely, if I can use that, you add the word. Sure. So Akhil, you already explained it's an important assignment, an old contact who's part of the stakeholder, how as a in enterprise architecture in this part of the world or India, it's important to you. There are multiple reasons that makes it important for you to succeed in this assignment. So what else makes this so super important for you? Anything that you have not mentioned so far that makes it important for you to walk away with this, this feeling of facing the stakeholder?
When I did keep my professional boots away 7-8 years back and joined the professional coaching world and started working and did something. And it excited me to go back to the world and do some good work and teach a very, very challenging work, which I have always accepted. Now, failure is not an option at all, right? And that's what is underneath all of this is giving me that I will fail this time. I will not be able to succeed. I will not be able to deliver this. That's what is happening all the time. And if I fail, then I fail myself, I fail my community, I fail my country, I failed that guy who trusted me to deliver this particular stuff. Yeah, so there is a deep within me, there is a, that the fear, the deep level of the fear of the failure, which I have not seen for many, many decades together. I have always seen the success and delivered it and move forward, right? And especially in the enterprise architecture world. Yeah, so it's kind of
So fear of failure and various facets of that at multiple levels is what is coming out very strongly.
Yeah.
From what you said now and earlier. So if you have to still walk away with something that will kind of help you to go and meet the stakeholder with totally like friend, like the way you perhaps joined this meeting with an old friend. What is it that you need to resolve within you?
Something is very interesting. You said right. I'm able to think through differently now is that failure is an option. I think the agile is a failure. You fail, you pass, you get that feedback, you come back, you work on to that and all of that, right?
Correct.
Interesting. Yeah. So if I, it's an iterative process, right? Agile is an iterative process. So how am I deciding that this is failed? Because there is another week plus yesterday, tomorrow, and then another 2 days in the weekend. I can work for 8 days and produce something on Monday, produce something on Wednesday, and think I'll get the feedback and get back. So yes, yeah, very nice.
So,
So
I want to acknowledge the smile. Finally, I could see that smile for the last 20 minutes since we came online. So that itself is a subtle shift. What are you experiencing in that smile?
I have a tears in my eyes, Vas. I was feeling hopeless, and I don't know how am I going to share with you, and that in front of the unknown people.
Yeah.
Why I'm feeling this is because the way you said this, oh God, man, Agile is all about getting the feedback.
Sure.
Right? And this is not the final copy which I'm going to submit on the coming Friday, right? I can have this version working and going and sharing, talking to them and all of that, right?
Sure.
That came into my feeling that I have to shift my mind, which was carrying with from the whatever that the waterfall is and the final day submission, and that was the document.
Correct.
What you have done with me is, and that's what I'm smiling. I can go. I have been talking to people, and from the last so many years, I've been delivering DevOps, but still my mindset was somewhere else. And that realization making me think, laugh, and the tears in my eyes. Thanks, yeah.
I want to acknowledge you for being so open and vulnerable in front of a group, right? I'm sure some of them you don't know. Of course, I don't know. So, Akhil, you still want to walk away from this session as a measure of success, where you can go and meet your stakeholder, including that old friend.
Yeah, you said that I just wanted to, I laughed. I was hiding and laughing. So if I go with the complete shift of that energy which you have seen me, that yes, there is me, I can go and talk and all of that. If I get a experience that sense of doing this iterative way, and there is something, whatever that can be done, right? And it's not that everything is the Friday is end of the life, right? So there is something which I produced, and there is a couple of discussions and the feedback which you have received. That's more than enough. I think if I go with that sense, experiencing that inner calmness to work for this 7-8 days.
What I also observed is suddenly you started using your hands and little bit more animation of Akhil that I know over the years.
You know what's happening? I will tell you what's happening is that I was just stuck somehow.
Sure.
And I'm finding that, man, what am I doing? I have tomorrow, I have Monday, I have Wednesday, I have Friday.
Sure.
Right? So I iterate it. I'll put together whatever developed, what is my thought process, what's going on, and right. And there is a concrete reference scenarios which I'll put together, and they can say it, right? So there is scenario. This is how exactly it has worked. And then so I think just that put together, that particular question is put together in the action, and therefore I'm finding that my body is loose and I wanted to go back and work on that. Yeah.
I also, with your permission, Akhil, invite you to step back. We know each other well. I know the value system that you stand by in terms of your work. You also mentioned about, your professional experience, your coaching experience. You're representing a community of professionals, and also from this part of the world, that is from India. What is your belief around your role as that agile coach in that, or enterprise architect in that organization with whom you're working? If you have to step back and look at who am I in that role, What comes up to you?
See, the good question, right? So there was which was caught. I am the enterprise architect mode, which is not the right thing, right? That just happens. What I'm representing, that yes, there is a people with whom I'm working, and then we will deliver it, and that happens, right? So I'm representing. I'm working to a problem. I'm not the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working with creative collaboration to come out with the recommendation that how the organization can, or this particular bank, go to the next gen enterprise architecture, right? So I'm here sharing my brain, sharing my thought process, sharing my experience as a coach, as an enterprise architect with the people, right? So I think that's what I am. But before this, I was representing as the honky. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just thinking that, man, I'm taking all the heavy lifting I have to do, right? And I just forgotten that as a coach, I'm not supposed to do that. Yeah, it's such a yeah. So it is some. I just the heavy weight which was there on my head, it just gone off.
And how does that make you feel with that heavy weight going off? Beyond the smile.
Beyond that, my smile, that I'm visualizing that I'm sitting with them as equals, talking to them. There are challenges, and this is what I'm doing. And if I can be vulnerable to all of these people, I can say, "But this is where it is," right? Yeah.
So you said you have in the interest of time and also the process. So Akhil, you said you have tomorrow, the weekend, and the whole of next week. With your permission, I want you to invite you. You also use the word visualization just now, right? So what if you were to visualize a perfect scenario at the end of next week, when you're when you're closing this level of engagement with the stakeholder, and that goes on a 5-on-5 or a 10-on-10. Yeah, I know you're a natural visualizer, you're into deep work. If you were to visualize that in a few seconds, how would that look like?
I think the visualization process is started. I'm seeing it, and I think I used also, right? For the professionals, technical professionals out here, it is a journey from abstractions to assertions, right? So I think I'm in an abstract level at the moment, and therefore it is creating it, but that's how it starts. And that end of the next Friday, I think I'll be I have a session. This is what exactly this is, based upon the concrete reference scenarios which I picked up from. And this is what exactly I'm thinking of. Maybe if you require something more to be done, we have to engage further, right? Sure. And that's what I'm seeing it, that I'm going with the confidence, saying that given the case, here were the abstractions which I picked it up some time back. This is what I understood. This is what the reference I have created. Based upon that particular reference, let me put together in a concrete scenarios. And while putting this scenario, this is what the recommendation coming out for me. And that's what I'm visualizing. I'm doing it there on Friday.
And how does that make you feel now? Oh, no, when you're having an ideal situation. Your body language says it all.
Oh man, there was a heavy weight here, and I was feeling like this. I'm feeling, wow, I can do something better. I was trying to, I was doing something with my white shirt today, taking a bath and all of that, and said, I'm not going to discuss all of this. I will do something else. He asked me to do. Now I'm feeling very free.
Sure.
Very free. Yeah.
So, I'm handling the problem, but I was the problem you said earlier, right? You are looking at this as you as the problem, but you're also, I can sense a shift in that, how I can manage the stakeholder now.
Yeah, this is like So we have, this is an unknown world, right?
Sure.
And I can do whatever. So I cannot, this is something else is coming out, which is in the past also, the perfectionist behavior still has not gone out of it, right? So the deep within me, that perfectionist was coming out, right? So that also, I think it's getting dropped. And I can feel my energy now very different. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah,
so based on this shift in energy, shift in awareness, and that lightness, what are the couple of things that you want to do from now so that you actually manifest that thing at the end of the next weekend? Any actions that you want to list out?
Yeah, the first action which I'm listing out is that we are all very good in a screenshot. So I'm taking the screenshot of myself in this energy, in this kind of things, right? And therefore, what I'm going to do is that there's the pulsating happening out here. I have to just sit together, put that abstract view, that reference architecture which I've created, take that particular scenario, start working on, right? And then being in the action, I don't have to be really thinking what's going to happen on the Friday. Yeah, this is not the end of the world. So that kind of view, and then plus then there is a 3 sessions for getting the feedback and working towards that and delivering it, right? And there is enough time, 24 hours, and I think except a couple of things on Friday and Saturday, I have and all the time to work and do that. Yeah.
Would you what would help you to still maintain this positive energy throughout the next 8 days? And any challenges that you foresee that can come in unknowingly?
As I said, to manage there is a screenshot I have taken of this energy right in front of all of you. And that's my anchoring for me to work towards the tomorrow till the next Friday.
So apart from this screenshot, any other resources that you can tap into?
If I get stuck something like this, I'm not going to stop and cry. I'm going to call you back.
Yeah, sure.
I will call.
Yeah, sure. So you can count me on that, and at short notice we can connect. Sure. And it's a short window of 8 days.
Yeah.
Akhil, we discussed this. You need to walk away with something that will help you to face the stakeholder and have that meeting. Stop avoiding them. In this whole discussion of 20 minutes, what are you learning about yourself?
How I was creating the facade, how I was avoiding taking the challenges head on, right? And putting all of that into the vicious cycle of this will happen, this will happen, this will happen, right? So what I'm going away with is that what was making me to create all of this facade within? And I know what it was, right? This all happens. Yeah, I have no word for that. I'm just experiencing at this moment. Aha. This is what I can say. I'm just going with the aha moment with myself. And you have sifted my belief. There was one belief which I was carrying before this particular session, and I have a different belief now. When I think we are closing this session. I'm good with that. So there is a shift in belief is what I'm going with. And the belief is that there is no perfections world, right? I was always caught back into my old habits of perfections, right? You know about it.
Yes.
That is what I'm going with. That yes, there is a deep within that perfectionism, and it can come back.
Sure. Yes.
And then we need to reflect. Yeah, it can come back. And therefore we require to reach out to the coach or reach out to somebody with whom you can discuss and talk about.
Sure. I want to acknowledge you from, in the shift in not only energy, but also the belief. You're a whole being from where you started to where you have been last few days, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Where you started to where we are closing. Is that a good space to pause this conversation and, move on for the day?
Yeah, I think I'm super energized, and thank you so much.
Sure. All the best. All the best for the 8th day and beyond. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be in touch. Yeah.
Yep.
All the
Yeah.
best.
Thanks. Thanks.